Hola, people. Boa noite. Feliz quinta-feira. I am surprised that I even know what day of the week it is. Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm assuming you can see me because I don't know what day it is anymore. I have been basking in the afterglow of some partying, some relaxation, some reflection. And so, yeah, got a lot to catch up on. So, hope you all are doing well. It's good to see you in the chat. Um, what a Bailey is on my lap. I realized like I have not been live in probably 2 weeks because when I was plugging everything back in, I was like, I still had the Blaxit Global After Dark lighting. I was like, oh my goodness. Hello, baby. Did you want to say hi to the people? So you trying to be snuggly tonight? Me snuggly? Okay. She says she wants to be snuggly tonight. So yeah, yes, let me say hello to y'all in the chat. First in the chat, Black Expat to be. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. The yacht, the yacht, the yacht. Lots of stories, lots of stories. And I'm sure there's lots of stories that are going to be told about me. Be careful with the quiet ones. Those are the ones you got to look out for. Hey, Cheryl, PhD. Hey, 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 Cheryl. Hey, hey, hey. Good afternoon, Venus. How are you? The Howards. Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Hey, Winnie. Hey, Edith. Oh, my goodness. Oh, hey, Patricia. Hi. How are you? Yes. Hey, everybody in the chat. Hey, the coding nurses in the house. Let me tell you, today's live almost didn't happen. Most of the day, I have not had internet. I was like, why is my internet down? And then everybody else has internet. And then I tried to call. I mean, my Portuguese is pretty good. Uh, but I still have issues with like the IVR systems because I feel like they know that I can only understand a little bit. And so they speak faster. And so I'm like trying to call my internet service provider and I'm like, I'm resetting routers, I'm doing all the things. My stuff is not doing anything. So my internet finally got stable maybe like 2 hours ago. So we're playing catch up today, but it's okay. It's okay. It's all good. I am here. Y'all are here. It is good. Bailey's here. Hey, hey, hey. Hello, William. Hey, hey, hey. Another channel member, Benita's in the house. Bailey, can you keep your little body still? She is all over the place. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Jean. I know Bailey's uncle's in the house and aunties. I was like, well, you got two sets of aunties and uncles in the house, right? Look, Bailey is a loved little puppy. And Maya is insistent that Bailey is going back to the US. So, yeah, so lots to catch up on. Um, so this week, like I said, I'm basking from a lot of good things. I realized like the past few months have been very and there's fireworks. That is apropos. They have been spectacular and they're only going to get better. So I'm a little, trying to get my my bearings together. This little fur child of mine. Um, so today is going to be like a recap of our 5-year anniversary and an Ask Me Anything. Plus, I know a lot of people who are in transit who are thinking about moving to Portugal, and people in the group, things like that. So I thought it would be good to talk about some of the late breaking updates, not to be like in a flashy type of warning, but just something you should be aware of. So we're going to talk about those things. Hey, hey, hey. Yes, thank you, Deborah. I appreciate you. So yeah, oh yeah, and a bit of news. So some of you have seen or read, well, and if you're reading, you probably have seen it. The Essence feature, Blaxit Global, and myself were featured in Essence magazine, Essence Online. I don't know if it's in the print version, but we were featured in Essence. Very exciting, very exciting. I am really excited about this because when I was, I think, writing my essay for college, I wrote about either working for Essence or being featured in Essence. And so, growing up in the Bronx as a kid, reading Essence magazine, I have a book by Susan Taylor, the former editor in chief of Essence, longtime editor in chief of Essence. So, yeah, this one's extra special. So shout out to Kara Stevens for allowing me to make my contributions to this particular piece. Um, it is on Move Abroad Money Guide. And y'all know if you're going to move abroad, you got to get your money right. So definitely, let me see if I can pull it up now that Bailey is a little bit more still. Let's see. Do. Yeah, here we go. Oops, privacy. Nope. Hey, before you go, the ultimate money and tax guide for relocating abroad. So, y'all will want to read this article. I have dropped the link in the chat. Some of you have read it. Some of you had sent your congratulations. Appreciate it. In addition to congratulations about the anniversary, Blaxit Global is 5. I want to talk a little bit about that journey and where we are. See Blaxit Global, the podcast. Oh yes, the podcast, because some announcements. We're coming back, y'all. So we'll begin recording officially in November and back in your ears in January. So some people were like, oh, the podcast is over. Baby, 5 years strong. For 5 years, Blaxit Global Podcast has always been a seasonal podcast. We come on for a few months, about 6 months, 5 to 6 months, and then we are in hiatus. So our hiatus is almost over. We will have new episodes, new expats from different parts of the world. Some places, some countries we're going to revisit because it's always about the person, a little bit about the country. Of course, it's about the country, but of course, about the person, and some new countries. So I'm really excited about this coming season. So some things for you to consider. Let's see. The podcast. What else do I want to talk about? Hey, yes. Hello. My party goers are in the house. Oh, no worries, Winnie. Look, I was having technical issues all day. Yes. Shout out to the Rocks, the Boogie Down, Co-op City. Boop, boop. Proud to represent. So yeah. Whew. Okay. Today has been a day. I'm telling you, when your Wi-Fi is down, it's like everything comes to an end. But I'm back. So yes, so the party, Blaxit Global officially celebrated 5 years this year. This year has been a 5-year celebration. And I almost didn't do anything to celebrate. I was like, okay, it's 5 years. And people were like, celebrate this big milestone. And it is. It wasn't that I didn't understand the magnitude of it, but it was just like, oh, okay. And then trying to think of what would we do? So some of you, most of you who are new, uh, some of you are new listeners of the podcast or new to the channel, may not know the full story. So I started Blaxit Global in 2020 with the year that it was. I was planning my move abroad journey for, at that point, about 3 years. And I knew I was moving abroad in 2026. So I started in 2017. So that was a long time. So by the time we got to 2020, I was like, oh, I'm at the halfway point, and then the pandemonium, then the civil unrest, right? The unaliving of Black people. And those 3 years, those remaining 3 years felt like 30. And so I started closing down, shutting down, not eating, not sleeping. I was getting irritable, and I knew I was getting depressed. And I, as the person who's a sole breadwinner for my family, I was like, if I fall apart, like everything falls apart, right? As Black women, we are the backbones of our families in so many ways. And I had the job, the multiple six-figure income and the titles and all the accolades in my professional life, but at the same time, it was still a struggle, because life was expensive. And not because I was balling, it was because my life was expensive. And I was feeling frustrated and overwhelmed. And I knew that if I succumbed to my feelings, like everything falls apart, right? And that can't happen. And so I decided to redirect my energy into something positive because at the core of who I am, my authentic self, I'm a happy person. And so I decided to pick up a mic. So I had an idea. And well, my friend suggested, she was like, you should do a podcast. And I was like, girl, I had an idea for a podcast a few years earlier. And I was like, that shit done sailed. And I went to bed that night and I woke up and the idea for Blaxit Global came into my head. So from the time I had that idea to the time we went live with our first episode, it was 3 weeks. And I didn't overthink it. I didn't overthink that I don't like the sound of my own voice, like a lot of humans. I didn't overthink the fact that I have certain like voice cadence or little things. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I also didn't overthink the fact that I didn't know any Black expats. But I found them because you know what? When the world is shut down, you can find just about anybody. So I was sliding in them DMs, introducing myself, and thankfully people said yes. And that is, that's how the podcast came to be. We subsequently had our Facebook group, which lasted for about a year and a half. And then we transitioned to our home, Blaxit Global Passport, our paid private community where we have workshops, accountability groups. We have lots of information. We now have over 30 members living in Portugal, not including members living in Spain and Mexico, and formerly living in Vietnam and other parts of the world. It has just been a wild ride. And, people have been sending me so many congratulatory emails and messages. So many like inspiring messages. I got one message from one of our Nomad Noir participants. Well, Nomad Noir is our signature scouting program. So we still have one slot open for spring. I had to think about it for a second. For spring, fall is still full, but look, people drop off sometimes. So if you want to get on the wait list, get on the wait list. But yeah, one of our Nomad Noir former participants from our second cohort sent a congratulatory email and announced that she is living not in Portugal, in Panama. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was so awesome. Because look, when you go through Nomad Noir, you get some bonuses. I think they've always been the same, but when you go through Nomad Noir and you complete the program, you also get a not a full year membership, but you do get a specific amount of time in our Blaxit Global Passport community. And so, when you're in there, you're getting, all this information. And so she decided that the better fit for her was Panama, and she is loving her life. And I love that for her. I was like, yay. So there's just been so many like transformative evolutions that I've had the honor and privilege of witnessing, and some that I don't get to witness, but thankfully people are kind enough to share either when they see me in public or they write me or send me messages. I read every last one of them, just like I read every last message that you post. When you post a rating or review of the podcast, I read them. I encourage you to continue to listen to the podcast. The podcasting has evolved and changed in a lot of ways over the past 5 years. Our listenership has evolved as a result of the world opening up and other things, platforms, that were active, channels like TuneIn and Stitcher and all of these other ones that existed. Google Podcasts, they all don't exist anymore, right? They went away. And so numbers have declined as a result. And so, in order to allow me to keep producing the podcast and elevating and amplifying these important and incredible voices and stories of Black expats, and now I am happy to be part of that because I started it when I was still stateside. I need you to listen. And so please continue to do so. And what else did I want to say about that? So, yes, so that brought us to the celebration. And it was amazing. If I did say so myself. And definite shout out to Andrea, Hayden, and Tadasi and Mel, and Jean. Y'all came in and saved on so many levels. Just the beautiful camaraderie, collaboration, friendship. Definitely appreciate very much. The yacht party. So y'all know I love me some yachts. I love me some yachts. My love affair with yachts began in 2022. First time I was on a yacht in Bali. And it was then that I was like, ooh, when I turn 50, I have to have a yacht party. And that was the epic, what I thought was I was done last year when I had my epic 50th birthday party. And, that was Harlem Renaissance theme. And, because I thought like, okay, Harlem Renaissance, 1920s, we're in the 2020s. This is our Renaissance, those of us that are, choosing this life. And I thought I was done. But then when you're like, you got to celebrate Blaxit Global turning 5, I was like, on a yacht. So it was amazing. So, like I said, the internets in my home were down and they just got back. So, definitely continue to follow us on the socials because videos are being released, reels from not only myself, but other people that attended. I'll be sharing them out. I'll be sharing some on this channel. Some of you saw us going live from the yacht. We didn't go up. We didn't go live from the Exodus Summit meetup, but do go live from the yacht. So I did not want to come on here empty-handed. I was able to do a little something before I came on, but let's see if I can find it. If the internets will be my friend. Like I said, this is not going to be what I was trying to do, but I wanted to show y'all a little something, something. This is not polished. I'm just gonna set the table with that. Um, let's see how we're gonna do this. Trying to let's see how we're gonna do this. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, okay. I think y'all can see that, right? You can see that. Yeah, okay. ah, so let me rewind a little bit. So I'm just going to play it and you probably can hear. Wait, no, yeah, you guys should be able to hear me too. Okay, so I'm just going to voice over it. Hopefully you can hear me too. Yes, I'm kind of like too loud. This is like our pre-boarding. Everybody was looking fabulous and relaxed. We were down there in Boca del Santana in Lisbon. It's just gonna slide through a couple pictures. And yes, look at everybody. And in some of the pictures, like so on the yacht, your girl was bougie. Blaxit Global had two flags. The yacht was decked out with flags and global flags, baby. I was like, look, I'm calling my yacht into my life. I'm calling my yacht into my some line dancing going on. I had people that came. We had people that came from the U.S., from Kenya, from Colombia, from Spain, all over. This is some highlights from the Exodus Summit meetup, Blaxit Global Exodus Summit meetup. We had an enchanting evening. Stephanie and Rashida, came. They were previously in Greece. And so they flew in and we had one magical and enchanting night. And then I know it's just going really fast, but that was actually where I ended. That was my respite. I haven't talked about that yet. But yeah, so it was a party. We were dancing, boots was on the ground. We were doing wine tasting. Shout out to Bruno, Wine with Bruno. Shout out to Water X. They were the yacht that I used for my birthday last year. So look, they did it again. We had a lot of fun. Like I said, the energy was amazing. So many of you that have commented on videos or sent messages over the years or are new followers and subscribers made the trek all the way to Lisbon, Portugal to rock out. Some of you brought beautiful notes and gifts, which I did not expect, but definitely appreciate. I have a lot of wine in my house right now. A lot of wine in my house right now. And so I am just overjoyed. We had light bites on the yacht. Afterwards, a bunch of us went to a restaurant nearby on the docks. We had dinner. It was just a night to remember. I like, oh my goodness, just when I keep replaying it. And then the yacht, the yacht folks, they brought me this beautiful bouquet of flowers, which are holding up very well. And so I was away this weekend. I'll explain my respite. But when I came back, they were still looking just as beautiful. And so I'm loving looking at that every day. Fresh flowers, beautiful flowers. And they're still like, some of y'all are still in town. I see the group chats have been pretty active. Some of y'all had some after party fun, which I loved watching. Like even though I was taking my little digital detox, I'll take a little peek every now and then. Some of y'all, like I said at the beginning, have learned that this little introverted lady can get down. So I'm just going to leave it at that. If you hear stories, most likely they were true. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you. It was so much fun. Oh my goodness. And let me tell you, what I have also heard after is like so many people are like, when's the next one? Even before the weekend was over. And I was like, look, I thought this was going to be my mic drop swan song, right? Because I had come home from the yacht. I was like, cloud nine. And then I saw the alert about the Essence article, and I was like, what? Like, wow, like this day couldn't be any more perfect. Then we had, the Exodus Summit meetup after. And I was like, oh my goodness. And all the talk was, even before we got off, I think before we even got off the yacht, it was like, when we gonna do this again? Now, I know who did it. Andrea. So I have been, and look, I am one who likes to poll. So I will continue to ask this from time to time. If y'all want me to throw another party next year, I'm considering it. I'm considering it. I'm considering another yacht party with a white party. So we're gonna have a white party, same yacht, next year. Next year. So if y'all want to do this, 3 hours, 3 hours, y'all. We was out there dancing, eating, drinking. uh, Jess said, when you go on a great cruise, you book for the following year before you dock. Oh, okay, all right, okay. Look, see, trouble. Trouble. Okay, I'm retired. I am retired. See, look, trouble. Okay, trouble. So look, I'm just gonna say this: if we are to have a party next year, those of you who attended this year's epic party, y'all will get first dibs at the early bird. Okay, y'all will get first dibs. Okay, but no, I'm mulling it over. I'm mulling it over. Oh, thank you. It literally was a team effort, because shout out to Tadasi and Nell. Because truth be told, I am not a shopper. I am very much an introvert. I am very much a I'll stay at home type of gal and wear the same things type of gal. So when I hadn't thought about, what I was going to wear for the events. And then I did try to go shopping when I was in the States visiting my kids. And we went to a couple stores because my daughter's a shopper. And I didn't see anything. Like the stuff in the States, it was trash. And it was really expensive. I was like, some of the stores, we have the same stores in Europe, and it was cheaper. So anyway, needless to say, I didn't get anything. So when I did like happen to pick up a top, and I was like, oh, I'll just wear like a pair of pants. And Tanasi, I appreciate, because look, I appreciate friends that tell you the truth. She was like, that's cute, but you look like you're attending the party. You don't look like you're hosting the party. And I was like, that is true. That is true. So we went store after store after store. Now, my least favorite activity is shopping. And I'm not just talking clothes shopping, I'm talking food shopping, like any type of shopping. My mother will tell you stories about how I have disappeared when I was a little girl, and she had to call the police because I would disappear when she would take me shopping. I do not like shopping. I would hide in the things and the racks. My brothers, we just, I am not. I am not. I've gotten better, but I am just, mm-mm. I'm not a shopper. So, we went. And thankfully, having friends that have like an eye for fashion helps. And having patience to deal with somebody who is a non shopper. What? Trying on clothes? Oh my goodness. But you know what? And here's the funny part. We agreed on one outfit. And then me being me, it was a different one that I wound up wearing. One that we had already saw, but it wasn't coming together the way we wanted. And then I was like, oh. And then I went to another store by myself and I found something. And then that's how the outfit came together for the yacht party. But yes. Oh my goodness. It is my least favorite thing. Like, oh my gosh. If you guys could see my closet, you would see like like 4 shirts. It's like, I've had clothes for years, okay? I don't, nope, 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 nope. Oh my goodness. Yeah, look, I know. It could be 3 years in a row with this yacht. It's possible. It's possible that it's gonna happen. But I am also one that I like giving y'all lead time. So if I am gonna do it, I wanna tell you early enough so you can plan your, travels, get your time off and stuff. Um, yeah. So let's see, except for when shopping for countries to get out of US. Yes, that type of shopping. Yes, yes, yes. Country shopping. Oh, yes. And I don't mind shopping for plane tickets. Now I'll do that all day. Travel, that's a whole different thing. Is it starting to get into the rainy season here in Portugal? And I'm getting a little trigger happy. That part of shopping, I don't mind. Let's see what else. Oh, so Exodus Summit meetup. So yes, the next day, the next night, next evening, we had our enchanting meetup. It was amazing at Les Jardins Eden in Campo de Orique. So outside of like Lisbon proper. And it was really amazing. It's like this beautiful French restaurant and garden theme. We had the whole entire restaurant to ourselves because if for a lot of you, this was your first Blaxit Global event. Some of our members that have been here have attended, previous events I've held in the past, like, welcome dinners and things like that. And so I like immersive events. Like if you've seen videos on the channel last year when we had our wine weekend, where we bought out a vineyard and we had 19 of us went out and we took over this wine estate for 2 days, and then we made wine at another vineyard. I like immersive events. I like it to be all of us, and we do takeovers. So it was really great to partner with Les Jardins and have this beautiful, the early, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? The front part of the restaurant is kind of like this, glamorous, like salon type feel, a velvety, green velvety. And then you go to the back and there's this just, this beautiful enchanted garden. And again, shout out to Andrea. Like it just was with the decor and the lighting and the table sets, like it all came together perfectly. And shout out to Mel and Tadasi for making sure that everybody got what they ordered and all the other things came together. It was just so wonderful. Everybody had so much fun. It was so good to see Stephanie and Rashida. We hadn't seen each other since February when we were together for the Exodus Summit meetup in Vietnam. And so we spent time together in Vietnam and in Thailand. And so it had been a few months, and it was so great to see them. Shar was able to come over and visit and see them. That was their first time meeting. It was so great to see so many people just in fellowship. And, I know the guys were happy because since it was a Blaxit global event, that the men were allowed. So men were at both events. It was co-ed events. So, the guys were dancing and having a good time. And so it was so great. It was so great. So great to also see, people that, here I've supported and have supported me through the years. And so I appreciate it. Bridget got up and got the 5:30 train from Porto. Kelvin from Rum and Tickles. Kelvin and I partnered for my very first event here in Portugal when we welcomed the original 12 of us that moved to Portugal when I moved in 2023. And it just astounds me to think, like, when I think, especially at that time when we all got here and, I was planning this event to welcome us all in Portugal. And I'm like, wow, y'all are really trusting. Like, you heard me on a podcast and you joined Passport and you saw me on these Zoom, and then y'all moved y'all entire lives to another country across an ocean. Some people have moved from, California and, Boston and things like that. And it was just amazing. And so all that is to say is that I know we talk a lot about, the digital medium, and, I had to take my little digital respite, but I have to say that some of the most profound moments and interesting people that have come into my life in recent years have come because of being online. And so for that, I'm grateful. I always will be grateful for that. And so, yeah, it's pretty special, pretty special. So everybody had a great time. We had to encourage people to eventually hit the door because we were there for so long. We had so much fun. And then people went off and still had more fun, because they're in Portugal. And, like I said, the group chats were lit. I mean, they still are. People are going to different parts of the country, going to after parties, house parties, some of everything. I mean, it was partying. And then I had, and it was so great. And I have to say this. So we did not have rain. We were on the yacht. We did not have rain. And the yacht is wonderful because we have 2 decks. It's a 2-deck yacht. And we had Bruno on the upper deck doing wine tastings. And the lower deck is partially enclosed. And so if, it did rain, we would just go to the lower deck. And so, and then when we had the restaurant, we were indoors, but, the part outside. And I was like, oh my gosh, it did not rain. And then Saturday morning, it was raining. I was like, thank you, Jesus, that we got through the events with no rain. So Sunday morning, I got up and got in a car. I rented a car and drove up north to the Douro Valley. And so I went away and had 3 awesome days with myself and just, oh my gosh, relaxed, decompressed. Did a digital detox for the most part. I think I stayed offline, more times offline than on. So gave my eyes a break, gave my mind a break, took time to read and journal and commune with nature. I was up a mountain, and it was this cute dog. I know she's gonna get upset. It was this cute dog. It was very cute. And so when I went, I think it was like the day before I left, I finally left I was there. I did nothing. The lady, this other people were visiting. It was this couple from Sweden, and she was Iranian, but had Swedish citizenship, and her husband was German. They lived in Sweden. There was a couple from Switzerland, another couple from the Netherlands, and then there was another couple from Toronto, and then I was Singleton, and so it was just great to just have time. And so they go, "Oh, what are you going to do today?" And they were going, different tours and stuff. And I was like, "Absolutely nothing." I was done. I had been peopling the whole month, right? We had the Nomad Noir ladies here. Think about like the recap of October. The Nomad Noir ladies arrived October 2nd. And so they were with me for 10 days. And then they left. And then I had about 10-ish days to kind of finalize, all of the stuff for the two parties. And, I knew like the yacht was pretty the easier lift of the two, but with the dinners, you always have to think it's a lot of people, and people have food sensitivities and things like that, and just a lot of coordination has to happen, and different vendors have to be paid, like all of these things, and we had some things, last minute things, all things that were easy to handle, but it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people, and so I was like, wow, I need a break. So yeah, turned off all my notifications, tried to, limit my time, which I did. It's mostly talking. I always talk to my daughter every night, and, proof of life to my mom. But aside from that, it was great. It was great. So it was great to spend time in reflection. They had this beautiful, I don't even know, I think I might have taken that picture out, beautiful cast, what's it, like a clawfoot tub. And so I took a bath every day, and just like I had brought my bath salts, had my playlists, I was dancing. And then like that other day, like I decided to finally leave and go outside, and went for a drive, walked around the property. There were just beautiful fruit trees, and it was in a vineyard as well. And so seeing the vineyard this time of year when it's autumn and the leaves are changing, and the different fruit trees, like I said, and so the cows and the sheep and the horses, and just beauty. It's, you know, great to be grounded. It's very, very, very nice. Teresa said it rained Saturday morning. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes, digital it is. Oh my gosh. I was like, "Oh, I needed that." And I didn't have like a digital detox, but we had our girls' weekend in July, and that was really restorative too. And so I definitely came away from it feeling like I need to have more times, like strategically spaced, where I can do those things, in addition to my travel, of course. Dancing on the tables. I did dance on table in the tables in Greece. I've been known, and I did do some dancing, and some may say flashing on the yacht. Oh man. All right. Okay. So this is a good segue. I see some comments, and so it's probably a good segue to start. Well, let me go to some questions, because I know there's some questions, and then I'll segue into the Portugal updates. So remember, this is also like a recap and ask me anything. Where you going, Bailey? You get ready to go now? You thinking about it? Okay, she's thinking. So oh, Essence. So I think this may or may not, I don't know if this is going to be in the in the print issue of Essence. So it may just be on the online. So I'm going to Please let my internet still be holding up. I think y'all can still see me. So I dropped it again. And I'll try and put it in the description. I don't know if it's going to be in the print, but that's a great question. I hope it is. I like seeing my name in print. And let me tell y'all, I have to say, for the little podcast and the platform that could, we have had some A plus, A plus, like exposure. The New York Times, the Washington Post, the Houston Chronicle, InStyle Magazine, PBS, Reuters. This year has been a great year too. Like we just had BET. I know I'm forgetting. There's a list because I have a tick list, and it gets longer and longer. Slate, magazine, Ebony, Bloomberg, Forbes. Um, yeah, and those are just the ones I can remember. Tavis Smiley. Um, yeah, and actually another one that came through today. Can't talk about just yet, but another one came through today. So, yeah, I have to say, all that is to say is I'm happy that I didn't overthink when I had the idea and I was terrified, right? Um, because could have overthunk like, oh, who's gonna listen to the podcast? I don't know any black expats. I don't like the sound of my voice. Uh, you don't know. Like the thing that you're most afraid of is often the thing that's going to yield the biggest results. I had no idea that, and I'm not talking about the media attention. Um, I talk about the transformation, not only that this had on my life, and the fact that I live here because my original plan was to move to New Zealand. And actually, 4 years ago today, I was going to share this earlier, but internet was not being my friend. This was the day 4 years ago. I'm going to post the pictures at some point. That I did my scouting trip to Costa Rica, aka Nosta Rica, and I was looking at Costa Rica, right? Because of the podcast and had these great conversations. And so, all that is to say, if you have an idea, a desire to do something, a conversation you need to have, like do the thing that you're most afraid of. Because if you stay doing the thing that you've always done, you're going to get the results you always have, and you're never going to be able to stretch yourself. Right? You don't grow by staying comfortable. Babies grow in their mother's womb and then they get uncomfortable. They run out of room. They have to get out. Babies are comfortable being carried and cared for. And then afterwards, they see everybody else walking around and then they're like, wait a minute, I can walk too. Right? So you have done all those things and you're still here. Right? So you can do scary things. You can do big things. You can do those things. I believe in you. Okay. Benita asked, am I living in Lisbon? Yes, I am in Lisbon, Portugal. Yes, I am. Lisboa. She does have an alter ego name. She does have a name. I have to take a sip of wine for that one. Maybe one day y'all will find out. Okay, let's see. Um, yes, yes, staying out here. I am amazed. I don't have a publicist. I don't have any of that stuff. But I stays out in these media streets. I stays out there in these media streets. Um, yes. And I'm glad that this resonated with you. You need to do it. You are capable. Yeah, we don't grow staying comfortable. This year, and that's why I decided to take my time and my respite, was I had some things that I needed to continue to work on, and I needed time to reflect and do that. And granted, I have a great size apartment here. It's me and Bailey, but I also have um, things in my home that make me not only just comfortable, right? Like I intentionally have everything that's in my house. When we moved here, it was Bailey and 2 or 3 suitcases. So everything in my home is something that I've brought into it. But at the same time, your home can be a source of. Bailey, you want to come back up? Come here. Or are you going in your room? Come here. You thinking about it? I was mid sentence. Oh, you don't care? Okay. She doesn't care. But your home can be a source of distraction. And so it was just nice to just, take time out and press pause and, come here, baby. Ugh. Say hi to the peoples. They want to say hi. Okay. And be in reflection. And so sometimes, you need to have that so you can get that download, from within, from source, from God, from whatever you call your higher self or higher power. You need that time. And so, if this my life or the lives of this people that you listen to in the podcast or who come on this channel and share their perspective on different things inspire you in any way, whether to get your money right, to quit that job, to leave that relationship, to get in a relationship, whatever it is, to leave your country, start a business, whatever it is, do it. And the best way to do it and the fastest way to do it is to get in community. And so I am very honored and happy that, our Blaxit Global Passport members, keep making these, strides. We have quite a few members this year that have moved to Portugal, some of who are on the yacht. Some people sent their regrets. They weren't able to come to the party because they were not, they were in the process of moving to Portugal and they're arriving in a few days. And so I am just overjoyed, at all of the people that are making these bold moves, that are betting on themselves. I got an email today from a woman who is in Costa Rica and was, just bet on herself. She finally was like, look, you know what? This wasn't serving me. I was trying to figure out how to do it, how to make it here, and it wasn't working. Here being the US. And she's making it happen. And another person who recently moved to Thailand and, has been inspired by the podcast and this platform. You can do it. You can do it. All things are possible. All things are possible. Yes. Excuse me 1 second. Alicia Renese. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, girl, hey. Okay. So, all right, let's keep this party going. So, thinking about taking Portugal off my list. Is a presidential election on 1/26. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I'm hoping that our president gets reelected. I can't vote. Yeah. I have to say, there are shifts happening in the world. And obviously shifts that are happening in the United States, and feel they are monumental, right? Um, and they also shouldn't be minimized. I want to say it that way too, because when I think about when Barack Obama became president in the United States, um, that's where we saw this huge. Well, actually, before he became president, um, we saw the the groundswell starting to increase, right? With the birther movement, wanted to see his birth certificate because his father was Kenyan and, all of this stuff. And then, right, 8 years of a Black president, no major scandals other than him going to a press conference wearing a tan suit. Um, and then what we've seen now is the backlash. And also, we live in a digital age, right? So everything we do and say is tracked, right? I used to be a digital marketer. Um, and so, everything you purchase at the store goes into a supercomputer, right? These are machines, they do learning. They take in massive amounts of data, all of the things you do, social media, all the likes. So you keep seeing these things, right? That's how algorithms are built. And so we as a society did not learn after the Cambridge Analytica scandal. People still do those little name tests and all these other things, play with AI with their own images. But then, what we see now is this huge push of biometric data, collecting all this information, your voice, your likeness. You're seeing content online where it's hard to discern what is artificial intelligence versus what's reality. And while some of this might be entertainment, it does have real world consequences. And so, people, when the birther movement evolved to the Tea Party, which evolved into MAGA, now we have what we have, right? The sequel. The sequel. The sequel was worse, is worse than the original. Um, it goes back to what I was saying about facts and data. They collect all of this information. They know, there's been reports, we know, we live it, that the most educated demographic in the United States, Black women, right? We're not the most compensated, we're not the highest compensated, but the most educated, absolutely, right? I hold a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, certificate, master's in digital marketing. So it's two, or not, yeah, 2 degrees and a certificate. In addition to other things I've collected along the way and accolades and awards. And I know people that have PhDs and multiple certificates. I have conversations, even when people are planning their move abroad, they may have had, a life and career, and they're like, wait, I gotta get one more certificate. We stay getting educated, right? And so we're also the fastest demographic. We're actually how do I want to say it? We're the demographic that is opening businesses, entrepreneurship at the fastest clip of any demographic in the United States. And so they're like, oh, we can't have that. So what is happening in 2025, right? Over 350,000 Black women and that was the first 6 months of the year, so I haven't seen any new data, have lost their jobs. And also in the space that I'm in, I know, many other I mean, now I'm officially retired, but content creators that were, doing their 9 to 5 in addition to content creation that have lost their jobs. It's still happening because they don't want us to win. They don't want us to advance. And what we do, we are good at playing by the rules, right? Think about it. I go into a store in the United States. If the security guard is somebody black, they're gonna make sure ain't nothing gonna get stolen up out of there. We are we are very good at following the rules. But guess what? The jokers that are running this, they ain't playing by the rules. You know what they said? We make the rules, we break the rules. Rules are for fools. So you have to play your own game. You have to realize a game is being played, right? So how do you want to play your hand? That's how you win. And I've said it on this channel before. Um, in American culture, a lot of us don't know when enough is enough. We don't know when to walk away from the table, right? So part of moving abroad is figuring out what is enough. And that's why we have the workshops that we have. That's why we do what we do in Blaxit Global Passport. So all that is to say, bringing it back to what's afoot in the world, we see pockets of big shifts. And while this is the first time many of these shifts have happened, obviously in our lifetime, in our times on this earth, right? When we look at history, there have been similar shifts because history often repeats itself, right? So, yes, while we have the orange man in the United States, there are similar people who want to advance an agenda in other countries. And has it shifted here in Portugal? Absolutely, right? Just in the 2 years that I've been here. And are there changes being proposed that can drastically shift life for immigrants here? Absolutely. So we'll talk about a little bit of them. Not to be shock and awe, not for clicks, but for facts, right? Because none, all of these things have happened. So one of the proposals that's afoot from the right-wing party here goes by Chega, is to alter the 5-year path to citizenship and to move it from 5 to 10, much like most of the EU countries. Like you look at Spain is 10 years, there's other countries where you have a 10-year path. Or if you have a shorter path, ultimately, by the time you get your paperwork and all these things are official, it can be 10 years. But the thing is, citizenship isn't necessarily what you need. Some people just want to have permanent residency. Here, baby, I gotta move you a little bit because you're putting me too far away from the people's. Permanent residency might be most appropriate. You also have to look at taxes. At the end of the day, if you're a United States citizen, you have to pay taxes on your worldwide income as long as you have citizenship. And leaving the country does not break your citizenship, right? Residency in another country does not automatically open a pathway to citizenship. So everybody has to think about it in a manner that best fits them. So they're looking at moving it from 5 to 10. 10 would be for like me. I am not from an EU country. I am not from a CLPC country, Community of Portuguese Language Countries, something like that. So for them, those would go from 5 to 7, and then for non-EU, which would be America, it would be 5 to 10. Realistically, even if I was eligible at 5, Portugal got some bureaucracy, baby. It would have been 10 anyway. Because people who have moved and immigrated here before, who have applied at year 5, didn't get their papers till closer to 10 anyway, right? But again, it all depends on your motivation. So that's where that is. So yeah, there are shifts, but similar shifts have tried to happen. Earlier this year, I believe it was in Canada, where there was a party that was more right wing, that was starting to emerge, and there was an election, and the Canadians saw how much of a shit show the United States was turning into, and the electorate beat that back. Similarly, that happened in, I believe it was France, even though France has got its own issues right now. But they were able to beat that back. So you just have to look at it in not in a bubble, right? I'm not, my day to day doesn't change, thankfully, it doesn't change. There are certain things that are more burdensome. So, for example, I will be eligible to renew my residency next year, and I have friends. Some of them are here in the chat, and they are in the process of trying to renew their residency, and it's no picnic. It is not. And I'm mentally preparing for it being, full of put this form in, oh, send this form again. I was trying to apply for another thing that I need for my renewal and got that rejected. And so I have to go through that process yet again, right? That is par for the course. I look at it like this. I had to interact with Portuguese bureaucracy in order to get my initial visa to allow me to enter the country in 2023. It took 6 months to get my card because I just so happened to have my appointment the very week that it switched from one agency to another. And then I haven't had to deal with Portuguese bureaucracy until May of 2026, but I'm prepping by getting my documents and stuff in order. Once I get over that hurdle, that next residency period will be for 3 years. I won't have to bother with this, right? It's not like I interact with Portuguese bureaucracy every day. And as an immigrant who I don't have the right to vote, much like immigrants in the United States, many of whom don't have that, ability, there's but so much I can do. But as an immigrant in this country, I have a better understanding and empathy for immigrants, definitely in the United States. And I will say is that more grace has been extended to me here than we as Americans extend to immigrants in the United States. But I will say that, going through this process, it is challenging. You become a scapegoat. You think about, and maybe that's just human nature, right? When there's, acts of violence and school shootings in the United States, it's, oh, don't blame the person, blame the guns, right? Something else bad happens. Oh, that person had mental health issues. Oh, they're stealing your jobs. Blame the immigration, right? Build a wall, close the borders. Don't let these people in, right? You scapegoat the people that you think don't have power. And power, right, or voice, doesn't mean saying these things about them are true. They're just the people that you can blame. And if you own the media and you can craft a narrative and you can play it like a drum beat, fiction eventually becomes fact, or at least perception of fact. So that's my thought on it. I'm not losing any sleep. Okay. Oh, Bailey, you are just moving all over the place. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. 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 But here's the deal. It's like, now how you going to get them out? Because the other thing to keep in mind about Portugal, which I do appreciate, is nothing here says that Krishan Wright is black and an American. There's things that say, oh, my nationality is the United States, but it doesn't say my ethnicity. And that is because they don't report that. There's nothing that you check a box saying that this person is East African, right? I mean, obviously, like I said, you can tell by the country of origin, but right, there's white folks that live in East Africa too. So it's not going to be easy just to say, oh, we don't want these people. So, like I said, that's what happens. The problem with scapegoating people, you know, in the countries that do. I mean, look at the United States. They were like, oh, they're doing these ICE raids, and look how much food has gotten expensive. My mother told me yesterday that she bought a head of lettuce and it was $2.50 for a head of lettuce. And I'm sure it was probably iceberg. So zero nutritional value. $2.50. But that's what happens when, the people that immigrate to the country and do the jobs that your citizens don't want to do. And then you figure, oh, well, we can terrorize them and we can scapegoat them and we can, marginalize them, dehumanize them by calling them aliens, by calling them illegal. If by the very virtue of you being born makes you illegal, a criminal. Like, this is what that rhetoric does. And this is the danger of that kind of rhetoric when you have a big bullhorn and we live in a digital age where things translate in a nanosecond. That's the harm. How do you how do you counteract that and counterbalance that? With reason, with more people speaking up. Yes, there are people who hold a lot of power, right? Billionaire Boys Club. But there are more of us than there are of them. And they ain't getting their asses up to pick no fruit, to fly no planes, to, clean the subways, whatever the case is, right? Like, we make these countries work. And so when we, the people, realize that we control our government and not the other way around, then things will change. But as long as people think that the government controls the people and that their tax dollars are the penance they have to pay in order to have some semblance of a life that they really secretly hate, it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be more of the same. What? Damn. I don't think I spent $100 a week on food. That is crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not. And so like just like they watch the numbers, they are going to see the GDP plummet. I mean, my friend Emily, who's on the channel, when we were together, because I went live from there when we were at the football game here, and so Cristiano Ronaldo, she was telling me she had just come back from Canada, and she's like, "Man, I've never seen these stores like this. Like, them shelves are bare, like where they would have U.S. goods, U.S. brands." Dust. And those Canadians are not complaining, like, oh, damn, where the American food? They're like, America. We ain't going over there. We don't care about them people. We don't care nothing, right? And not us as Americans per se. It's more like the dude, right? The orange man. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, it's crazy. And look, all of these companies that are getting rid of Black women and Black and brown people and getting rid of their DEI programs and stuff. The fact that y'all got you know that this is a racist agenda. How are you even looking your Black employees, your brown employees in the eye? Like you're not, you can't. That's why I'm so glad I left when I did, and so glad I left and retired. Because I'm like, ain't no way you can sit in a meeting and talk to me when you letting this shit go, right? What? No, absolutely not. Y'all got no problem. Mm-mm, no, no. That's why I don't even really go on LinkedIn that much anymore because I'm like, I want to see no Black and brown people. Oh, look, my company did this. No, like, oh, look, they got this award. And it's like, yeah, but that's the same company that probably like fired like 5,000 Black people. Mm-mm. Wait, don't tell me it's a head of lettuce is 408. That's like them $12 eggs. Mm-mm. Crazy. Bailey, you are snoring so loud. The baby's snoring. Um, okay, let's see. Sorry, I know I'm jumping around. Do you think they're increasing to quell the immigration to Portugal? Oh yeah. In my opinion, what I think is happening. Look, Portugal is a small country. It's a country that has 10 million people. So give it context. Portugal has a population of 10 million. In Portugal, and this is data from 2024, there are 19,000 Americans living in Portugal. 10 million Portuguese. 19,000 American, right? Not even a percentage. So when you read headlines, especially in the United States, that say or hint at, or these blogs or forums, whatever, like, oh, the Americans are moving over, increase in the prices, and blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. Because I don't own my apartment. My landlord is Portuguese. My landlord owns 3 of the 4 units on this floor. I don't set the rent. Okay. Mm-mm. So, um, yeah, just have to look at it and be rational. You have to be rational. So yeah, so I think what's happening is after the pandemic ended and things, the world opened up, right? It was a lot of people that migrated during the pandemic because countries were like, if you're here, and people were traveling or whatever, they were trying to lock it down, obviously to preserve life. And then things started to ease up depending on what country you were in. People had migrated. They realized, oh wow, I'm paying $3,000-4,000 in rent in the United States when I can go to Bali and I'm working remote anyway, or I can go to Mexico, or I can go to insert country, and it was affordable. So Portugal popped on a lot of lists, right? Partly because Portugal was in dire straits coming out of the 2008, 2009 global economic crisis. Portugal got hit pretty hard in its economy in the past, and then they created these not digital nomad, those came later, but golden visa schemes. But you also have to remember that the European Union has now, 29 member countries. And if you are a citizen or a resident, a permanent resident of these countries, you can move to different member countries. You don't have to do a formal process. And so what happens is people that are French citizens that were like, shit, it's expensive in France. Let me go buy a piece of property in Portugal. Oh, wow. I'm in Spain. Let me go buy a piece of property in Portugal. I'm in the UK, remember, before Brexit. And people were like, Brexit came as a result of really, still was more of a racist to anti-immigrant agenda. And now, UK is up shit's creek too. These things don't work out well long term. So you just have to look. Like I said, history repeats itself. But look, you know, the people that think it's going to work out for them are either exhibiting the definition of insanity, or they don't know how to read. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Yeah. All right. I think I lost my place. Ooh, talk about it. Talk about it. Oh, I'm so glad. You're welcome. Hey, Anya. Hey, how are you? Anya. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, exactly. 0.2%. Exactly. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes. And I saw Amazon was doing layoffs, and I mean, I haven't consumed any media news in maybe a week now, almost a week. I am being intentional post digital detox with certain notifications and certain habits I'm trying to break. So, yeah, I haven't consumed anything. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you one way or another because, like I said, I'm like, it's just making me happier not to know. But I do like, certain things still filter through. Like I know the whole SNAP thing in the United States is happening supposedly on November 1st. Obviously, the government is still shut down. Doesn't make me feel easy about flying back over to the United States in a few weeks. But, certain things are out of your control. Oh, you already know. You already know that's gonna happen. You already know that's gonna happen. We should just give big middle finger, right? We should all be look. My take on this is we are the most educated demographic. We are starting businesses. at the fastest clip of any demographic. Why do we need to stay in America? Take your talents, your skills, your expertise, and put it to use for yourself, right? My bachelor's is in English. My master's is in social work. I have a mini MBA in digital marketing. I had a very storied career, right? I am a what? I don't know, travel, Black freedom influencer, content creator, podcaster, right? I didn't go to school for any of this, right? But I am able to support myself, right? So you don't need them people. They're telling you they don't need you and they don't want you. Don't stay where you're not wanted. Mm-mm. Don't stay where you're not wanted. Hey, Marquita. Hey, how you doing? So good. Thank you for joining. We have to catch up. I'm back. I am back. I am back. Let's see. Yeah. Ooh, I'm scrolling now. I'm scrolling. Ooh, y'all are hot in the chat. Uh-huh. Yep, 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 yep. Ooh wee! When I tell you I be getting flashbacks with some of the jokers that I worked with, I was like, mm, 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 mm. 3 master's degree, more tech. Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 I was out of work. So when was this? I've had I've had a non-linear career. I don't know if I think I did talk about this on the video I did when I said I blew up my life. So I'll do a little quick recap. I did a 10-year-ish stint in government, New York State government. I worked in television for a CNN affiliate for almost 3 years. I was a social worker for a hot minute. um, I was a lobbyist for about a year. I then realized I needed to pivot out of like government and quasi government type roles if I was going to ever like, or even social work, if I was ever going to retire. And so I started taking an interest in digital marketing, not marketing, but I was like, oh, things are going digital marketing. Um, and then uh, got, that was a 40 under 40. I was awarded 40 under 40. And I knew I was about to get laid off. But then they kind of had to delay it because now the company just got all this attention because I'm 40 and 40. So I think they like waited 3 weeks or whatever after. But when I got laid off, I was laid off and I was 6 months from being vested. So I lost all that money. And it took 2 years to get a job. 2 years I was out of work. My kids were in private school. They stayed in private school. We gonna make things happen. We gonna make it work. I remember it's like taking the coins to the thing, quarters and stuff. My son would get these little certificates for reading, but I didn't let them eat like that dominoes and stuff. And that would be, I would eat it So I had something to eat. Yeah, you know, I would sell things online. I did some of everything. So yes, now I have this life, right? I have financial freedom, but it came at great sacrifices. Um, it came at great sacrifice. Bailey, you were moving all over the place. Um, but you gotta do what you gotta do. If you want something that you never had, you have to do the thing that you've never done. So, mm, yeah, you gotta get the freedom you deserve, right? Our ancestors have paid the debt in full. That's what it is. Yes, it has. Hmm. That is so true. Ooh, I think. Let's see. I'm back at the top. Okay. All right. When history doesn't repeat, it definitely rhymes. Oh, yes, yes. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I have a goal because we're almost in November, so I'm praying that it happens. Because that's what, 8 weeks? We have 8 weeks to the end of the year. I'd like to get to 10,000 subscribers. I think we're at 9,174, give or take. So, hit the button, hit the like button, subscribe, become a channel member. Yes. Yeah, I sold items on eBay. I was a secret shopper. What did I do? Some of every damn thing. Oh man. I thought I was gonna open a consignment shop. I thought I was gonna buy an ice cream truck. I was almost close to, and this was in 2019, end of 2019. I almost bought into a franchise. Thank God I didn't do that. And the day I actually went to the franchise place and, went through the program, and the day I think I was supposed to like sign the papers, I got offered a job. And at that point, it was the most money I had ever been offered. And I was almost like, yeah, steady paycheck would be nice, but I kind of want to work for myself. And then in the back of my mind, I was like, girl, you got 3 more years. You know how much money you can put away? And so I decided to take the job. And then I regretted it. But thankfully, the pandemic happened 3 weeks in. And then they let us go 2 months later. 2 months later, because you want me to get dressed every day? You want me to work a full day on a Friday during the summer too? Ooh, no, that was not gonna work. I was happy to get laid off. Um, but yeah, yeah. Mm. Yeah, give me the 10,000. Give me the 10,000. I know I'm not the biggest channel in the world. But I want to get to 10,000. It's a goal. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I did. Oh gosh. I did. I sold stuff. I'm trying to think of all the stuff I've done. Yeah, I've had, like I said, I was never one of those people that like had, like, oh, what'd you do? Oh, I did this. Like, I done rattled off. If you look on my LinkedIn profile, you'd be like, well, damn. And then every career shift, I'd get an award or something. Like, I'm good at what I do. Yeah, I would pivot. I'd be like, oh, the tides are changing. It's time to pivot. I'm good at what I do. I will learn, right? And so that's what I mean. Like, there's nothing that you can't do if you put your mind to it. Nothing. You just have to believe. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm especially now. A lot would have to go wrong for me to ever end up working for somebody else. A lot would have to go wrong. Yeah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. They wanted me to be like working because I was spoiled at my other job. They were like, "Oh, we had such a cool president at one point before the other one came." He was like, "Y'all wear jeans every day. Work ends at 1 o'clock on Fridays during daylight savings. So from March to November. What?" And then I came to this job and they was like, "Oh, you got to get dressed up every day, 5 days a week." You want me to work till five? What? During the whole year? Oh man, I was still onboarding during the pandemic when it happened, and they were like, "Oh, you guys gotta go home." And then they were like, "We couldn't." They lied during the interview and said I could work from home occasionally, and then they were like, "No." I was like, "What? What?" And they said, "Oh, everybody gotta go home because of the pandemic." I was like, "Mm-mm, bye." And they're like, "Oh, we gotta let you go." Oh, so sad. I've done consulting. Yeah, some of everything. Some of everything. Oh yeah, yep. Oh, you knew that was coming. Y'all knew that was coming because they were doing too many stories. Because there was people that were like working two full-time jobs while they were remote. And look, I can't say whether or not I did or did not. Right? You know, because you have to trust adults to be adults and manage their time. And it's unfortunate that the powers that be, because that's capitalism, right? Capitalism does not allow you to rest. Capitalism will force feed you productivity, right? So that becomes your oxygen, right? You do not rest. You rest when you're dead. They feed you articles about the person who's 90 years old and they're still working. Um, all of these things. They'll feed you articles from CEOs and other people in the C suite that tell you how they get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and they're able to run a marathon, get their kids off to school, run a multi-million dollar company, and still look the way they do. Like, come on now. I saw this snippet of an article interview with Patti LaBelle, and I've seen her in concert a few times. She's love Patti LaBelle. She was talking about you know still working, and she hasn't done a record in 20 years. She said, but she's still touring, and I'm still striving for perfection. We need to rest. That's why I was like, everybody loved us. Oh, you coming to the after party after the yacht and after the summer meetup? No, Mama went home. Rest, rest. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Yeah, capitalism. Yes, you're just a cog in a wheel. How many coworkers I have had over the years that have died. Two, wait, no, three when I was in state government, maybe four. Three that I can think of right off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. Yeah, They think job is your life. Yeah. Um, yeah, exactly. Free time is right. Because then they also spoon feed you that not being productive is lazy. And they know that that word is a trigger for Black people. But you know what? We weren't lazy when we were taking care of their children, when we were taking care of their property, when we were out there in the fields. Oh, we became lazy when what? When slavery ended? But who was the one in the big house sipping sweet tea? Y'all lazy asses. But somehow we were the ones that are lazy. We're the ones that are lazy. And we can't be polite with these jokers anymore. They're playing in our faces. And part of why, or not why, but part of what the global majority needs to start doing is just calling them on their shit. Because what they gonna do? What they gonna say? They already doing it. Being silent just empowers them to continue to believe that somehow, by virtue of the skin that they came in through into this world that is paper thin, see through, that by virtue of the skin that they were born into, that they're somehow better. Why? Because you stacked the deck in your favor, or your ancestors did it, or the people who are the powers that be happen to say have the same hue that you have, and so you get to ride that wave, and you're like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're the ones that should be in the streets, right? You don't want to be blamed for the sins of your ancestors and stop doing the shit that you're doing today. Have a voice, take a position. They're not. So, just yes, I saw that he commented. He sent a message about loving the fact that you're out here living your best life in Portugal, that he was going to come next time. Absolutely. I'm so happy. Hey, look, that's all I can do. And frolic. Frolic on yachts. Frolic. Um, and don't get me started on the white liberals. Mm-mm. Yeah, we know. Your body tells you. Hmm. Yeah, they'll replace you. They will hire two people to or more to do the job that you did and pay them more than what they paid you. Right? I mean, right? That's what they do. So stop playing the game. Learn to play the game that you want to play. Figure out where you want to live. Figure out how much it's going to cost for you to live where you want to live. There are a bunch of resources, many of which I have shared, other content creators that are in this space have shared. Come into our Blaxit Global Passport community. Our next accountability group is Sunday. Yes, Sunday afternoon. Well, afternoon my time, not afternoon. Because I guess the clocks change. Oh, segue for a second. I have been in my bubble so much that I had to text my friend today. It was like, did the clocks change? Because they changed here in Portugal on Sunday. But I did not realize that until today. That's how much of a retiree my ass is. I went in the kitchen and I was like, why why does the microwave say 9 o'clock? I was like, maybe I lost power. And I look at my watch, and my watch says 8 o'clock. And I was like, what? I look at my phone says 8 o'clock. And I'm like, hold up. Then I Google, when did the clocks change in Portugal? And it said Sunday, October 26th. And I was like, oh shit, today's Thursday. I had no clue. No clue. 5 days. I'm just saying. That's how relaxed my life is, okay? Oh man. I'm telling you, I was like, I'm relaxed. The conservative Caucasian versus black. Yeah, I'm telling you. One thing that I'm so glad that I made the decision to do my digital detox was like, now I'm like retraining the algorithms, because I know it's probably gonna take a couple days, but I was like, I gotta retrain these algorithms, because I'm just, and even when people send me stuff now, you want to entertain me, send me fall down videos. I don't know why, but them things crack me the hell up. Yeah, people falling down. I mean, I don't want to fall down. I'm over 50 now. I can't be breaking nothing. But let me tell you, those things are quite entertaining. People falling down. I love that. That and the one that started yesterday, I guess because they know I like that stuff, the algorithm sent me the porch pirates, and the porch pirates would be trying to steal people's stuff. And then people, I guess now, put things in these boxes so that when the porch pirates try to steal it, like it blows up in their face, like it'll be like powder or something. It's hilarious. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's my brother. It's the funniest thing. So I'm like, I gotta teach the algorithm. Stop sending me, all the stuff that's going on in America. Stop sending me, it's like, I ain't there. I care, obviously, because I do this and I shepherd people. But either way, I still find out what's happening. I just don't have to consume it as much. It doesn't have to disrupt my nervous system. And it allows you to think rationally. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, damn. I didn't think we were going to be on this late. Okay. Oh, that's right. With the time change. Okay, it's not as late as I thought it was. That's why I was like, wait a minute, the clocks change. Because I do like this like week. So what happens is the clocks change in Portugal, and then the clocks change in the US this Sunday. So now there's only a 4-hour difference between me and the East Coast, and 5 hours between me and where my mom is. And I should have remembered that clocks changed, because when I was talking to her yesterday, she told me what time it was, and I was like, oh, and I was like, huh? I was like, oh, maybe. I was like, she's old, so I was like, maybe she just didn't see the time, right? No, it's because I didn't know that. Whoopsie. Yeah, you gotta get out. Gotta get out. Because like I said, I've said it on this channel, and that's why I do it every day. Every day when I get up, my routine, I do my Wordle. I do practice Portuguese for a little bit. I do brain games. And, and also even today was pretty stressful because I had some things that were going on, plus the internet was out and stuff. Which was unfortunate because I was just coming from my relaxation, and I had to ground myself and know that's not good for your body. Like spikes in cortisol, it's not good for your kidneys. It's not, we can only see what's the outside of our body, the outside manifestation, right? And our largest organ is our skin. Sometimes you see it in your skin, premature aging, or acne, or um, you know, other diseases. Can also be stress, diseases of the mind. You can have high blood pressure that's not regulated. And, we lost Tina Turner because she had for years been diagnosed with high blood pressure, but chose not to medicate. And then she wound up needing a kidney, and it was attributed to the fact that she had an untreated high blood pressure. We have been losing a lot of Black men lately, especially in we see the highly publicized celebrity deaths, of course. We just lost D'Angelo. A few years ago we lost Chadwick Boseman. um, you know um, there's just a lot going on. And so when we think about these desires to move abroad, to change our lifestyle, change our jobs, whatever the case is, leave a relationship, bet on yourself, you only have this life. You only have today. You may go to sleep, and this will be your last sleep. Tomorrow is not promised. We go to bed with the hope that we will be able to do something tomorrow. But putting things off or planning for, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, who's to say you're going to be here? Who's to say that the person that you think you're going to share that time with is going to be here? Right? You only have today. You only have today. So put the things in place, make the change, make the investment in yourself. So get in community, come into Black's Global Passport, come to our accountability groups, come to our scouting programs. We have 2 next year. I don't know if we're going to do 2027. Like, it's supposed to be one, but I don't know. It's kind of looking like it a little iffy. But definitely, we're already committed for 2026. And come to our events, because, I may be doing another yacht party. Yeah. Yes. Health is your greatest wealth. I have money, but guess what? None of that money is going to matter if I lose my health, right? Steve Jobs had a boatload of money. His heirs are enjoying all of that money. But guess what? They don't get to enjoy him. And he didn't get to enjoy it, right? Right? Because he lost his health. So, oh yeah, I see it occasionally because when I watch like content on like Netflix and things like that, I'll get the ads and I'll see like the celebrities like Kevin Hart and all them doing like online gambling and all these other things. It's like, as Black folks, I like to think that we should really think about the ramifications of some of these endorsements. But I also think that when people get to a certain, and it's not a dig at Kevin Hart by any means, but when you get to a certain status and you start to sometimes move like the people who write the check, because they have no problem positioning this same product to their people that's living in a trailer park. They're like, why should I worry? Right? But you should. So that's it. I know we did. We had so much fun. Like I said, I'm gonna do a poll. I'm gonna do some outreach. I'm gonna see. So when I do, like when I send an email and I have a question, And I'm like, would you come to the yacht party? And y'all say yes. And not just yes. You have to be like, yes, and then pay your money. Because mama's got to reserve the yachts, okay? Yes, yes. Wait, what do I see? Oh no, you can't multitask when I'm live. You don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't even know what I'm gonna say because I'm like trying to think. I start recording next week. I'm like, what am I gonna say for this season of the podcast? I don't know. Um, um, yeah. Yes, till next time. Till next time. Yeah, they had no problem. I tell you the amount of money I have lost. I should have been a millionaire a while ago. Probably in my early 30s. But you know, they know. They know. Don't think they don't know what they do. Hmm. All right. This was I bought this when I was at the estate that I was at this weekend. I had the reserve. I'm not going to have another glass tonight. Yes. Subscribe. Bring others to the party. Okay. This is cool. I did not intend on this being 2 hours, but I'm glad y'all stayed. I'm glad you rocked with me. I'm glad and grateful for those of you who rocked with me in on the yacht at the Exodus Summit meetup. Hey, 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 hey. Yes. Thanks, Catrice. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, it was. I am rested. I am changed in many ways. I am changed in many ways. All good things. All good things. So I'll be back next Thursday. Um, please tune in. In the meantime, for those of you who need support, encouragement, we have our accountability group on Sunday. Join Blaxit Global Passport. We have some new and exciting things actually happening in 2026 that I'm putting the foundation and finishing touches on. Like I said, listen to the podcast, get our listenership up in preparation for our return in January. New episodes. And yeah, subscribe. Help me to get to 10,000, please. Tune in next Thursday. And in the meantime, yes, as my friends, the Howards say, buena noite. All right, buena noite, buenas noches. Ciao, ciao. I will see you next week.